Hey all, Coach Craig here. Brandon Turner of the Better Life Tribe and real estate investor extraordinaire had said this phrase that stuck with me, which is when you're going to try something new, when you're going to, gain a new capability or whatever it is, it's to jump and grow wings as you fly down. And so Brandon is one of the most kinetic humans I've ever met in my life, and that is very fitting for him. For those of us who store up a lot of potential energy before we get kinetic, like I do, that is a good call to action, because the intent is, hey, you're not going to know everything, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have every single thing, every single bit of your strategy completely, perfected before you actually get kinetic and get out there and start putting things out into the world. So, an analogy here is that as an employee, you're a passenger on a plane. So the plane is being flown by somebody else, and you're a passenger on it. You have a particular seat, and maybe if we torture this analogy a little bit more, you're a worker on the plane. So you have a particular role in your plane, in the plane as it's flying. And so you need to do your job on the plane that somebody else has built and flown. And so as an entrepreneur, what you're doing is you're jumping out of that plane and you're trying to fly as you go down, and you might have a wingsuit that you're trying to figure out how to make happen. And then let's say, you're trying to see how much horizontal distance you get out of the plane. And, so let's say you get like 1 mile for every, from a 10,000 foot vertical elevation, you get 1 mile of horizontal flight or whatever. And then the next time you jump, so then you're like, man, that wasn't enough. I didn't sustain myself. And then, the next time you have to get in another plane and go back up. And then, so you're an employee again, you get up there, and then you've learned a little bit. So you jump out of the plane again. And now you get, let's say, 3 miles. And you're like, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this, right? And then the whole analogy is that you may have to be a passenger on a plane for a while as an employee before you actually can fly your own plane, before you can actually, learn the skills in order to execute flight. And so if you've been doing this for a while, you hopefully have found your wings, and you're flying the plane, and you've got your own plane, and you're in a very unique category. And so the intent here is that if you want to grow to the next level, what you have to do is you have to jump out of that plane. So the plane that you built, you're going to have to jump out of it again, and then you're going to have to, figure out how to fly again. This is the constant growth cycle, where you're going to constantly be doing things that scare you. And if you don't, then you will not have any excitement. So you have to have excitement to motivate you and fuel you in order to do bigger and better things. But in order to get that excitement, there's a natural cost of that. You have to pay the fear price. And that's reality. And one way to motivate you is to get kinetic with very small things that have low risk, either psychological risk or monetary risk, and start executing and learning, right? Because that's the whole thing. The whole point of feedback is learning. If you get feedback and you don't change your behavior based off of the feedback, you learned nothing. And so that's the intent, is to get kinetic so that you can get feedback, so that you can change your behavior and then improve and get kinetic again and see if the behavior that you changed actually improved the thing you're trying to improve. So anyway, hope that was helpful. Coach Craig out.